into account the extensive hardship and deprivation afflicting our citizens across all states of the Federation. The Council scrutinized the federal government's failure to establish essential structures to address the widespread suffering in our nation. Furthermore, it is considered that the government's deliberate neglect and disregard for engaging the national stakeholders through the channel of social dialogue, a commitment it had solemnly declared during the President's inaugural speech on May 29, 2023. It further examined the renewed threats against trade unions and their leaders by various governors and the organizations, and was alarmed on the new dimensions and shape these sudden events have taken. Consequently, NEC in session observed that whereas the federal government has refused to engage and reach agreement with organized labor on the critical issues of the consequences of the unfortunate hike in prices of petroleum, which has unleashed massive suffering on Nigerian workers and masses. There is a renewed onslaught against trade unions and its leadership by the state and its agents across Nigeria. The police, under the instruction of certain forces bearing the name of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, have invaded and occupied illegally the national headquarters of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, seeking to install its own executive. The Imo State government has continued in its efforts to cloning the Congress in the state in order to continue its exploitation of workers' rights and privileges despite all efforts at reaching amicable resolution. The Abia State government has continued to interfere in trade union affairs and seeking to impose its own leadership on the state councils of National Union of Road Transport Workers and National Union of Local Government Employees, and has continued the inglorious path of workers' intimidation and union bashing in Abia State. Certain aviation companies, of which Air Peace Airline is the flagship, have continued to violate the rights of workers to join unions of their choice in disregard to the provisions of the international conventions and laws of Nigeria. Marauders disguising as herdsmen have been unleashing terror on farmers and citizens across the nation. Members of the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff Cattle Dealers of Nigeria are, however, not involved but respected citizens of businesses. Consequently, NEC in session resolved as follows: to embark on a total and indefinite shutdown of the nation within 14 working days or 21 days from today until steps are taken by the government to address the excruciating mass suffering and the impoverishment being experienced around the country. To commence a 2-day nationwide warning strike on Tuesday and Wednesday, 5th and 6th of September 2023, to demonstrate our readiness for the indefinite strike later in the month, and to also demand that the state vacates the illegally occupied national headquarters of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. To embark on a mass protest and rally in Imo State within this month of September 2023 in preparation for a shutdown of the state to compel the state government to stop the abuse and violation of the rights and privileges of workers and trade unions in the state. To begin a shutdown of the operation of Air Peace Airline and other companies in the aviation sector that are involved in serious violation of the rights of workers in the sector, to freedom of association, and to collectively bargain and organize. To call on communities around the nation to stop taking laws into their hands, but report to authorities for amicable resolution any matter involving members of the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff Cattle Dealers of Nigeria, which is one of our affiliates. That if the FCT minister fails to stop forthwith the attack on workers and thousands of Nigerians through the demolition of houses, which are mainly for the masses and the less privileged, and the wretched of the earth, that NLC will engage the minister on the streets of Abuja. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for these questions. Let me take from the last. And the last is very interesting. The last is like teaching us how to do our job. And the last is like asking the trade unions to be very dictatorial and not submit themselves to social dialogue. You can see the number of days you have given us notice. If the demands are met, why won't we talk within this period? What are we asking for? That this issue be addressed. If we don't talk, after shutdown, we'll still come back to talk. So which one is better? I want you to understand how we work. Even at the last minute, last hour, to the expiration of our ultimatum, the trade unions will talk. That one, it doesn't matter how it is being, not to create more problems. So if they invite us for meeting, we'll talk. On the issue of the court order, of course you have predicted it, that they will go to court. Or it has become a normal phenomenon for court orders. However, you know, to the extent that I want you to understand the issue of power relation in industrial relations. I think they should respect the powers of social dialogue while we respect it. But the right of a worker to work or not to work cannot be taken away from any law. That Nigerian workers, they wake up one morning and they say they will not work today. There's no law internationally that can force them to go to work. That one is right. You can express it as individuals, you can express it collectively. So get this right. You know, when Nigerian workers say, I will not go to work today. In fact, I will not go to work tomorrow. I've never seen where you say the person must be arrested, that he must go to work. It's part of the person's right, and he can express it at any moment. You know, court or no court. But however, the courts are only there, you know, to maintain the rule of law. The question on the issue of Abia State governor and being a Labour Party person. The NLC formed a Labour Party for Nigerians to express their views, to contest, to use as a platform to run. The whole people in the National Assembly today, none of them is a Labour leader. You have almost 30-something of them. They are not Labour leaders, they are Nigerians who decided to, you know, seek for political offices through the Labour Party. The same way other political parties were formed, some by ex-generals that formed these parties. So, and that is the right NLC must express. If ex-generals must form a party, the Nigerian Labour Congress should equally form a party. That party is not being run by the Nigerian Labour Congress. It's being run by people who are members of that party. So, if any person who sought for office through the platform of the Labour Party goes there to behave otherwise, his punishment will be double. Because we have workers' charter of demand. And anybody who must subscribe to one under the platform of the Labour Party must abide by the document we give to them under the workers' charter of demand. If he deviates from it, whether he is our brother or our father, we are going to visit him more angrily than the people that are from other parties. And that is clear, and it's good for Nigerians to understand this very well. The essence of the formation of the Labour Party is not that people will be regimented into the party forever. For your own information, the party was formed under the leadership of Adams Oshomole, who is openly today in APC. So you can be in Labour Party today and go to another party tomorrow. So we are not forcing anybody. For everybody, your information, our former deputy president ran for governorship and won under the platform of APC in Kebbi State. He's one of us. You can even challenge us more on his conduct than somebody that came up from outside. Because we can explain to you that when the trenches with him, as we are talking about Imo State now, he led the people that went to first negotiate with the governor. Today, both of them are in the governor's forum. I think you should be able to tell the governor that I led the Labour team to come to your state, and all that you promised, you have not done them. So that's how, that one we can say this one is a Labour man and we train him. But for Nigerians who want to use the Labour Party, we don't know their background, but they are free to run. But when they able act otherwise, we have to do our job. And that's the way we are going to do it in the case of, other State. Clearly. I don't know what other question you asked about FCT minister. Now the FCT minister is very interesting. He came with a mindset. And I'm not sure the job of the FCT minister is only to demolish houses. Whether it is the job of PWT, job of roadmaker, demolish every house. He has not sat down to tell us how he's going to run the administration of FCT. And he said he will demolish every house. Now, what you call illegal, who called it illegal? Who termed it illegal? We have a society where the rich in Abuja are living in Maitama and other places. And we have a situation whereby the poor we are constructing bacha in some places. And you watch them. They start the foundation of the bacha. They finish it. And they are living there. And if you want, there have been about 2-3 ministers who have been around. And the first day you came into office, you start demolition. Can we have what you call master plan and know what is legal and illegal? Do you have what is called workers' village in Abuja? Do you have masses village in Abuja? Is there any place you marked out, since the rich in Nigeria are living in Maitama, you marked out that this one is for the poor? Everybody gets quarter plot. There you can build your bacha, so that you don't come and build it around town where big men are. There is no such. And if you feel that they have done that before you came to office, your duty is to think of relocation or where they can go, and not to render them homeless. It will be worse when they are homeless and roaming the streets of Abuja. Let me tell you this, history taught us that in Lagos, Morocco was demolished. And all the poor people in Morocco were pushed out. Today, Morocco is the current Lagos. It has been reallocated to the rich. The same thing to Morocco, all the illegal places. Today, you can go there and see what is happening. And I think that the poor should know when they are under attack. If the poor cannot access transportation because of removal of subsidy, and they cannot see where they put their heads, even under the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the most least are the issue of food and accommodation. If the Nigerian state can't provide shelter to each citizen, and the citizen manage to provide makeshift shelter, and you go ahead to demolish it, no compensation, no alternative, I think whatever you are talking about, legality and legal, is out of it. You can't have a legal estate for the rich without having a legal estate for the poor. That is our response to that issue.